Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching this from. This is Cornelius Tubinza with another video. And in this video, we are answering the 2022 paper 1 external, the question 6, proving the identity. So you have sine theta minus cos theta squared minus 5 divided by tan theta plus 3 sec theta is equivalent to sine theta cos theta minus 2 cos theta. So what we are going to start by is which hand side of the identity are we going to pick? We're going to pick the left hand side because if you look at this question, the left hand side has something that we can simplify to give us the right hand side. The right hand side is already in its simplest form. That's one of the reasons why. Okay, and the left hand side has some identities that we can use to actually make it look like the right hand side. So it will be equal to sine theta minus cos theta squared minus 5, then you divide by what? You divide by, you have tan theta plus sec theta. Let me just check to confirm. Yes, just like that. You're going to say is equal to sine theta minus cos theta squared minus 5, then you divide by what? You divide by, what is tan theta? You know that tan theta is equal to sine theta over cos theta, and then sec theta is equal to 1 over cos theta, like that. So we are going to say sine theta over cos theta plus 1 over cos theta, like that. Then this is a complex fraction such that this is regarded as a numerator, like that. Then this is regarded as a denominator. So what we're going to do is focus on this denominator. We're going to find the lowest common denominator for this denominator. Okay, so we're going to say is equal to sine theta, okay, minus cos theta squared, then minus 5, you divide by a small one, like that, small bar like that. Let me just clean this up. I don't know what this cos theta is doing here. So the lowest common denominator of the two fractions here is cos theta. Then we'll say cos theta into cos theta will be 1 times sine theta is sine theta. Cos theta into cos theta will be, sorry for this, we're supposed to have a positive 3 here. It was an oversight from me because it was 3 sec theta, not just sec theta. Okay, it was supposed to be plus 3 sec theta there. I didn't include it here, but I just remember that there was a 3 sec theta there. So it's supposed to be 3 over cos theta. So it's going to be cos theta into cos theta is a 1. Then multiplied by that 3, it's going to be plus 3. And then, as we can see on the right hand side of the identity, we have sine theta times cos theta minus 2 cos theta. So our aim will be to find a way of cancelling out this sine theta plus 3. And how can we do that? It means we need to factor this in the form of certain coefficients, okay? That can, we need to factor it in a form that we can get rid of the sine theta plus 3 and just remain with something that can give us the right hand side. So we're going to say is equal to, we have, first of all, my aim is to make this cos theta squared here, okay, become something that has sine theta squared. So one thing we know is cos theta squared is equal to 1 minus sine theta squared. We already know this, but since there's a negative 1 here, so it's going to affect the signs that's already there. So it means we are going to be left with something like negative 1 then plus sine theta squared. That's what we are going to be left with. So we are going to write our new numerator as is equal to sine theta squared, like that, and then we have sine theta, so I'm going to say plus sine theta, like that, and then we have a negative 1 there, so it's going to be negative 1 minus 5, it's going to give us negative 6. And then instead of writing this long bar here, we're going to write a division sign, which is going to be divide by sine theta plus 3 over cos theta, like that. And then if we factor this, we are going to have something so think of this as a quadratic, okay? That's what I want you to think of it as. And then if you want to actually visualize this, think of it like this. Since the leading coefficient here is a 1, okay, we're going to factor it in the form of a quadratic. What do I mean? In front of the sine theta squared, there's an invisible one there. So we're going to just say something like this is equal to sine theta, okay, in one bracket. Let me write it like that. Sine theta, we take a space there for a certain number, like that. Again, sine theta. We just write it a bit smaller. Sine theta is a certain place there, a space there, divided by sine theta plus 3 over cos theta, like that, over cos theta. And then we're going to ask ourselves, which numbers can you multiply to give you negative 6? And then they add to give you positive 1. So they multiply to give you this here, which is the product of the number there, which is 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. Multiply to give you negative 6, and then they add to give you the number here, which is just a positive 1. It's going to be a positive 3. So I have the sine theta plus 3 in one bracket, okay? So let's write that a bit more clearer. Sine theta plus 3 in one bracket, then a sine theta minus 2 in one bracket. Then when we reach this point in time, we can actually cancel out the okay, before cancelling out, let's change this sign here. It's division to multiplication. So let's say is equal to sine theta plus 3 times sine theta minus 2 times cos theta. You divide by sine theta plus 3. Sine theta plus 3 will cancel out sine theta plus 3, giving you 1. Then it will be equal to sine theta minus 2 multiplied by what? Multiplied by cos theta, is it? So you have a sine theta minus 2 after factoring that sine theta minus 2 multiplied by cos theta. And then if you expand, distribute the this cos theta in that bracket, what you're simply going to have is equal to sine theta cos theta minus 2 cos theta. And then if you look at your right hand side, our right hand side was what? It was sine theta cos theta minus 2 cos theta. So I've simplified it in such a manner. So we would say therefore left hand side is equal to right hand side, hence proven. Okay, so maybe you are a bit behind. Let me just explain what I did here. okay, for me to come up with these brackets here, sine theta plus 3 and sine theta minus 3, from what we had right over there. Okay, so let me try to explain it here. So if you think of it, we had sine theta squared, like that, sine theta squared, then it was plus sine theta minus 6. Then you say let, we can say any letter. So in my case, I'm going to say let y be equal to sine theta. We use x too much, right? Let's say let y be equal to sine theta. So here we are going to have, in place of sine theta we put y, so it will be sine theta to the power 2 plus, y to the power 2 plus a y minus 6. And then it will be what? Y squared plus a y minus 6. And if you factor this out, nicely, I said that you should get one bracket, okay? This is what I said. You get one bracket, it will be y in one bracket and y in another bracket, like that. Then you say which two numbers can multiply to give you negative 6? It is, there are many numbers, okay? The product of the number here and the number there. So the product of the number in front there and the number in front there. So the number right there is negative 6, the number right there is a positive 1. Multiplication of those two numbers is going to give you a negative 6. So the two numbers are positive 3 and negative 2. That's why I did that. So if you use your normal method, I'm going to do it real fast due to time. So I'm going to say y squared will be, you write, instead of writing this, I'm going to say plus 3y minus 2y minus 6. So instead of writing y, you are going to write it like this. So we have not changed anything, we've just written y in the form of 3y minus 2y. That's what I mean. Then you factorize by grouping, you can just underline this and this. So terms are counted by the sign. So here there's a positive sign that you cannot see, the one in front of y squared. Then here there's a positive sign, so a second term, third term is there, fourth term. And so we have this as in the form of 4 terms. So we're going to factorize by grouping. We group these first two terms, we group those first two terms by underlining. So we check what is common here. These first two, what is common there? Well, if you look closely, what is common is a y. Then y into y squared will be y into 3y will be positive 3. And then what is common between these two here is a negative what? 2. Be specific, negative 2. Because negative 2 can go into a negative 2y, it's going to give you a y. Into negative 6, it's going to give you a positive 3. And then if you factor that nicely, it's going to be y plus 3. You divide by what? Multiply by y minus 2. And then we said it can, we also had something like this. Y said you can just write it, for example, it will be sine theta plus 3 multiplied by sine theta minus 2, instead of doing what we did, okay? So I just wanted to give that explanation so that people can be clear. Otherwise, the video was done a long time ago. So this has been Cornelius Tubinda with another video. I thank you for watching and bye bye.